Oh, hello Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the High Priestess. This is the waxing moon. This is the widening of the psychic aperture. This is the opening of the third eye. Okay? This is the increase of the psychic energy, the psychic perception, the psychic vision, right? I feel like you're somebody who is, right now, I think, consciously trying to strengthen your connection with the divine. I feel like there is a message that you are looking for. There's a question that you've asked, right? And I think there's a message that you're waiting to receive. And I think Spirit's here with a message, okay? I think this message is coming in. I think you're somebody who has a very, let's say, active spiritual life. In other words, I think that you have your own style, your own method of connecting with Spirit, whether it's through meditation or ritual or prayer. I think you have a very strong, maybe through divination, tarot, right? I think you have a very strong connection, and you do things in your very own unique way, you know. And I think it's always worked for you. When you rely on it, it works for you. I feel like when you get these spiritual messages, these downloads, whatever you want to call them, I feel like when you heed them, things go well for you. But when you kind of say, not sure, I'm going to do something else, I think that's when you'll find yourself in trouble, you know. I think you have a very, very active psychic life. And I wouldn't be surprised if you do your own kind of divination work or something that you're offering to other people as well. Yeah. But let's put this into some context. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on with this energy here with our High Priestess. Oh, we've got the Three of Cups. There might be a particular family thing going on. Actually, there could be a new addition to the family. Is somebody having a child? I kind of get the sense that maybe that's the sort of message that's coming, right? Maybe that's the news that we're looking for. Maybe that's what we're asking about, is something about the increase in the size of the family, let's say. But let's keep going and see what else we've got. Oh, 10 of Cups now. We've got our, there is your power card. That is the Emperor card. The Emperor rules the sign of Aries. So this is a very important card for you. And I think that this confirms what we've been saying about how you've had that very active role in your spiritual life. You know, that you've sort of said that if you need help, if you have questions, if you need answers, that you actively engage in a process to bring those answers about. It's not just kind of a sitting and waiting kind of thing. Like you're trying to knock on Spirit's door and say, hey, I need you, you know. Anyway, let's keep looking around at what we've got. We got a 6. Oh, the 6 of Pentacles too is talking about a kind of sense of community. It's even kind of a family thing. So I think this sort of the group thing seems to be important for you. Now we have the Prince of Pentacles in the future position. We've got a 7 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, a Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups could also be talking about a new addition to the family, okay? Especially if we think the two come together and produce a third. Well, that is the third, right? Let's, this is an interesting one to me. A lot of very good energy, but I see, of course, with the 7 of Swords that there's this need for answers. That there's this sort of question about which way do I go? What do I pursue? What's coming next for me in life? I don't know exactly what your question is. But it has to do with you continuing to build something. You're being told to keep building it. Okay? Maybe there's been a delay in plans. Maybe the Three of Cups is really talking about any other kind of family thing that's sort of, that's, I don't want to say it's delayed your progress, but it's just kind of a new energy coming in. It feels like a very good energy. It feels like an energy that we want to celebrate. At the same time, there's still a lot of work for you to do in what might be your career or financial life or your earthly sort of goals here. The water energy that's coming in, and there is a lot of it. This is something that's very, very special. It could be a new sense of purpose. It could be a new passion, or it really could be kind of a new partnership, or it could be a new sense of family, a new sense of togetherness. Could be some intimacy that's coming into your life. Yeah. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down right here, and we're going to put Frankenduck, I guess, is their name. We're going to put that right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it down in the comments. I think with that High Priestess right in the middle here, I think you would do very well trying to predict that mystery card. All right. Let's take a look around the room, because we see a couple of major arcana. We see, of course, the Emperor, which in some ways is your sovereignty, your autonomy. It is your sense of agency, okay? And then the High Priestess, of course, is sort of you in this attitude of reception, receiving the answer. Sort of you're asking the question here, or you're pushing forward, and then you're kind of receiving energy back. You're receiving a response from the universe here, right? So we sort of have an active and passive, sort of a yin-yang kind of thing going on, which I think is very nice. It's also maybe we're asking the question, how do we proceed in this effort? How do we achieve the perfection, the perfect harmony, the balance, the beauty of this physical life? How do we achieve that in the right way? How do we achieve it faster, or whatever the exact question is? It's kind of like the Three of Cups is sort of the answer from Spirit here. The High Priestess is showing that you are in an attitude of reception to this family vibe, to this sense of intimacy, this sense of love, community even here. It's kind of saying we need to bring more love into the work for the work to really grow and to be as successful as you want it to be. It's kind of like the answer to your question is love, right? In whatever form it might take. And I think with the Ace of Cups at the end, it shows that love's going to take many, many forms for you. Sometimes the Emperor can be so focused on the business, right? So focused on the business of the Emperor, the business of the empire, that it doesn't always focus on love. It's just love takes a backseat to the major concerns of the realm, right? So it could be that the Three of Cups is kind of saying the way that this is really going to progress in the best way for you is to invite more love into your life. And it might even be a case of the way we make progress, the way we strive forward is by yielding, is by allowing time for reception, allow time for things to grow and evolve. You've put in a lot of effort. Sometimes you got to back off and let your activities, let your actions have their influence. You know what I mean? Give things a time to respond to what you've put forth. Now, maybe this is even a situation where you're in this family kind of scenario, and I don't think there's really a lot of people around you. If anything, this is between you and one other person, and it's kind of saying that your efforts, your actions, your intentions need time to breathe, right? Need time to allow the other person or the other party to respond to what you did. It's kind of like you send a text message, and then before you get the response, you send a couple more, and it's sort of overwhelming, right? And the Emperor has a tendency to do that. And so we might be in an attitude now of just sort of, allowing our efforts to take root and to start to grow and develop, and then wait for a response back, either from this other party, from the business, from yours, from spirit itself, or from whatever it is that you're really involved in. Okay? So we have our two major arcana energies. We don't have any other fire here, right? Except for a little bit in the position of what we don't want, right? And that's the Knight of Cups. And it's kind of saying that you've put forth your efforts already. What you don't want to do is keep putting forth more and more of the same effort until you give something a chance to respond. We could be talking about a family relationship. We could be talking about a love relationship. We could be talking about something financial. The other bit of fire that we have, other than, of course, your Aries energy, is the 5 of Pentacles, right? Because 5 is the number of Mars. So it gives us that suggestion, anyway, of the fiery, assertive, outward flowing kind of yang energy, right? And it's kind of saying that more effort in this situation is not going to lead to more results. In fact, by putting in too much effort, things are actually going to deteriorate. Okay? That you need to let things breathe. You need to give something a chance to sort of respond to what you've put into it. Whether it's a business or whether it's maybe you're making some little changes in your business, you've got to let those sort of play out a little bit before you change something else. You tweak one thing, and before you really see how it's working, you go and tweak something else, and it's kind of, you don't know what changes are caused by what efforts. You see? So anyway, we don't have really any fire, but we do have water, a lot of water. Kind of this idea of yielding. Also, the abundance of water is sort of saying that you need to take more joy in what you're doing. You need to sometimes pause in order to receive the blessings, right? When we take the High Priestess and the 3 of Cups, it's kind of saying you have to open up your arms to receive the love. If you're in the Emperor sort of attitude, right? The posture of the Emperor, that's not really a posture of reception, is it? It's the posture of dignity, of assertiveness, of confidence, not of aggression, really. Like, it's not arms folded, but it's not a position of reception either. The High Priestess shows us the attitude of reception, that we have to have our arms open if we're going to receive the gift. And the 3 of Cups is the gift. It's the joy. It's the celebration. It is kind of, in a way, stopping to smell the roses, So we have a lot of water. We've got a little bit of swords, and the swords is in your general energy, I think, because there is a slight, not confusion, but there's an exploration, mental exploration of different options, other paths. It's kind of like with the ace in the middle, the ace of swords, right? That you've chosen one thing, you've done it. You've made one little change to your website, right? And then before you really find out what effect that has, here you are with all these other little ideas, changing other little things too. And so the idea here is to sort of resist that, to do one thing and see how it works, and then maybe try something else, or to at least receive the rewards, receive the results of what that effort was. Okay. Otherwise, I think there's a lot of effort being put into things that we're not really sure which action led to the actual good results that we see, right? So anyway, that's our little bit of air. And then, of course, we have our earth, and earth energies. The 6 of Pentacles is what we want. The 5 of Pentacles is what we have. Okay? Now, let's talk about the water energy first, though, because the water energy, I think, is really, really significant. Now, with the 3 of Cups, this could be a family situation. It could be a romantic thing. It could be some kind of a love thing, right? It is talking about a celebration. It is talking about receiving the good stuff. It's kind of you recognizing that you've got people around you that sort of want to celebrate your wins with you. Yeah. So there is this idea of receiving the love that is around you. And I think that's a very important thing, you know. I feel that you've been on this path for a long time of trying to build this kind of life that you want. And I think really that you've been chosen for greatness. Okay. And you know that you're going to be doing just great and wonderful things. The idea here is for you to accept that and embrace it with your arms wide open, you know, and to allow the recognition, allow the appreciation to come in, let people love you. You know, there are people out there that love you. Let them love you. Right? That's from a movie. What movie is that? I can't remember. And that's kind of the idea here with the High Priestess and the Three of Cups, right? There is this kind of hint that maybe there is an addition to the family somewhere. Maybe not you, but maybe someone close to you is having a child. Yeah, and that's wonderful news if that's the case. And maybe that is something that's a big factor in your life now, because you know you're meant for these great things. You have all these aspirations, all these goals, and now suddenly there's a different story taking place now, you know? And suddenly now we go from all of this ambition to now we go into all this water energy, family energy. Could be that you're the type of person never thought you would have a family, never really wanted, never really wasn't something that you thought about, wasn't on your mind. And now it's happening and you're like, okay, how do I sort of incorporate all of this and really figure out what that means in terms of your life path? Okay? And so I think, you know, that might be a big factor for some of you. The 10 of Cups, of course, underneath the surface. Whatever is happening in your life, whatever the results of your work are, whatever this idea of the new addition to the family, maybe this is, and we say new addition to the family, maybe you're getting into a relationship or something like that. That could be what it is. I think it's leading you to realize that the potential of life is so much more than you thought it was. You know, it's kind of, in a way, and I'm speaking from my experience, it's kind of like you don't know what you're missing until you have it, right? Like someone who, like before I had a child, my wife and I have a 4-year-old daughter, right? My wife does tea leaf readings over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Go check out her page. She does marvelous work over there. But before I had a kid, it didn't bother me that I didn't have a kid. I didn't know what I was missing, you know. I had no conception of what it felt like to have a kid. And, you know, it wasn't, I didn't feel like my life was missing anything, you know. But now that we have our daughter, that she's part of our lives, and it's made me realize that, wow, like life, there's just this whole other component of life that I didn't realize was there. So that's, to me, sort of a 10 of Cups thing, where it's just sort of, it exceeds what our expectations were. But I would never have known that it was a hidden portion of life to me, a hidden portion of my own emotional body, right? But then once I met my daughter for the first time, it opened up this whole other world of emotion for me. And if you're a parent, I think you know what I'm speaking of. If you're not a parent, well, you might become one. But I think that this is really the realization that your life as it is now, something hidden is being revealed to you that's opening up a whole other level of emotion, of joy, of beauty, of bliss. A fullness of life that you thought your life was full before. That was nothing compared to this. You've unlocked all these extra cups, let's say. Yeah. And I think that's sort of the feeling here, is that, you know, you had this maybe more specific version of success or of love or of, you know, a prosperous, abundant, beautiful life. But something's happening. You're becoming aware of something now, whether it's a family thing, whether it's the birth of a child, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether what we're talking about here is just even a financial abundance. Okay, with the 3 of Cups, it doesn't have to be something, emotional, giving birth to an emotional sort of thing, or that sort of a a subtle connection, or this literally could be that you're getting your business or your career or whatever you're doing right now. Maybe you're in school, maybe you're retired, whatever your efforts are. That the results, the benefits of that are so much more than you thought they were. And that brings such joy. We could be talking about money, right? We could be talking about land or a hidden treasure, right? It could be you buy a plot of land and you just thought it was just something, yeah, it's perfect. Oh, it's amazing. But then you get there and you realize that there's this whole extra section of things, right? Or there's this whole hidden room in the house that you never knew was there. And you didn't miss it because you didn't know it existed, you see? I couldn't miss my daughter before she was born because I didn't know she existed, right? So anyway, I feel like this could be in relation to something, more career-oriented or more financial or something like that too. Okay, whatever it is, it's a reason to celebrate. It's celebrating something that you didn't know was even there. Okay, it's kind of the icing on the cake. You thought the cake was perfect already. Oh, now you're going to put some icing on it? Well, now there's going to be ice cream and whipped cream and hot fudge on it too? We didn't even know that was a possibility. And so it opens up this whole realm of joy and beauty and bliss for you. Now, with the 6 of Pentacles at the top, this is what you are aspiring to. And I think that this is a beauty and a harmony of life where everything functions and flows. You're not asking for too much, but you're bringing something very, very important to the table. You're contributing your talents and skills to whatever the group effort is, whether it's family, friends, maybe something at work or school, maybe you're retired, maybe this is at the community center or the library or the research group or whatever, the book club that you're involved with, whatever it is. Okay, you have these aspirations of what the successful life is like for you. And this is what you are aspiring to, this kind of beautiful, successful life. Again, I think that you're going to be surprised with something wonderful that you didn't know existed that's going to sort of open up this whole other realm of joy for you. But if we're talking about the earth energy now, we're going from a 5, and through your efforts, you're going to achieve your 6. That 6 is the perfection, the harmony, the beauty. Everything is in alignment, but you've got to be the builder. Okay, you're responsible for doing the work here. And again, it's important that you don't try to do too many things at once, because then you won't know which one was actually effective. It's like a doctor that just kind of says, just give the patient 100 different medicines. One of them will work. But maybe those other 99 are going to cause a lot of problems. Maybe it will work, but we don't know which medicine actually worked, right? You ever watch that show, House MD? I used to love that show. I still do. I love Hugh Laurie. You should check out that show, Chance, if you get a chance. It was on Hulu, I believe. Very good. I heard that Hugh is a fan of the show, that he watches his readings, but I don't know. I heard that from a friend. Anyway, it's your responsibility to figure out what works and then to work it. Okay? You find the technique, you find the building materials, you find the tool that really starts to get this done, and you stick with that. Okay? You don't go doing a million different things and just thinking, one of them will work. Okay, I don't think that's the method here. I'd like to go over to the path of the serpent now. And as we talk about these cards, I would also like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything, and it really does support the channel, and I appreciate your support. I really do. So thank you. As we talked about the 7 of Swords, your general energy, I think there's this idea of what tool do I use to bring my 5 of Pentacles life to that perfect 6 of Pentacles, right? I think this is also the idea now that there's this sort of surprise energy coming in, this surprise, I want to call it a bundle of joy, right? And this is you sort of figuring out, okay, how does this factor into my life? What does this mean as far as my path? Is this changing my goal? Is this changing the path? How so? What do I do? And I think you're mentally exploring a lot of these questions. I think Spirit's going to show you the way forward. I think you are still you're still focusing on these sort of earthly goals. You want your your health or your finances or your living situation to achieve the level that you have aspired to, right? You want your Six of Pentacles. But I think the Six of Pentacles now may be taking on a different meaning. It's getting bigger, right? It's including more things, because the Six of Pentacles to me is the idea of perfection, right? This is everything in its full glory, as the best it will ever be, right? And then from there we get 7, 8, 9, 10, things it's more of the mutable energy. Things are starting to sort of change and transition into whatever's coming next. But this is at the height of glory, right? This is the best it has ever been. And this is what you're aspiring to. The peak, right? The zenith. And I think you're going to achieve that. It might look a little different than you thought because of this sort of surprise energy coming in, whatever this is, right? It's a surprise. It's a gift of some kind, okay? And we've explored a couple of things that it could be, but I imagine it's going to be very different for all of you. The Five of Pentacles, yeah, I feel like there is a need for the financial situation to improve. We could be talking about, health-related stuff. We could be talking about the career trajectory, the life plan. We could be talking about the house, right? Things need to be fixed up. This is kind of a card in certain contexts. We can say, my house is in disorder. I need to get my house in order, right? I got to baby-proof the house. Maybe. But this is the idea that things are not ideal yet. So there's fixing that needs doing, okay? And it's through your efforts, and that's why you've got this builder energy. You're being told to start building. This is like, this is the one that has to start putting together the cribs and baby-proofing the house, and you got to get the walls painted, and you got to, maybe this is the idea now that we're going to need a bigger boat for all of us, So this is you really taking this sort of new information, this new feeling, this new love, this new joy, right? And figuring out what you need to do to create the sort of new version of perfection here. Okay. I also feel that with these two cards, the 3 and the 6, I feel that there is sort of an unusual gathering coming together. It's an unexpected thing. So, really, this is all tied together. Okay. So I don't know if this is friends and family coming together to celebrate something, if this is sort of a work thing, if you're being honored for something. Sometimes the 3 of Cups is a recognition. It could be that everybody is sort of getting together to announce your promotion, or maybe a retirement, or some sort of, it's unexpected though, right? I figure if it's retirement, you probably expect it, but there's a group of people coming together, and I feel like you're being lifted up. You're being recognized for something, and maybe that's sort of changing the game for you, right? That, and in a good way. And so I think it's going to give you a little bit of a different perspective on things, and you're going to have to sort of adapt to what that is, The Knight of Cups is interesting. It's weird that this is in the position of what we don't want, because this is kind of, this is someone who is acting very passionately. This is someone who is giving of their heart, sharing the joy. It's like, back in the day, when you're having a kid, the dad would go around and give cigars to everybody. I don't know, that's a very weird tradition that way back in the day. I don't think people do that anymore. But that's kind of the idea, that you're just so excited. You're just running around sort of, sharing the news with everybody, right? This is also the card of the giving and receiving of love. Okay, it's a card that asks, have you connected with your people lately? When's the last time you said, I love you to someone? Okay. When's the last time you said, I love you to yourself? When's the last time someone said it to you and you received that love and affection from somebody else? Okay. This is in the position of the difficulty. And so maybe there is a bit of a resistance to what this water energy is, because again, the Emperor wants to keep building this. Staying on this sort of path here, it's like an arrow going upwards. This is achievement, this is ambition, this is climbing the mountain. But then we got all this water. We're sort of transported by the High Priestess through this tunnel of water, right? Going down this well, and then we're over here, and suddenly life is different. right? Suddenly, it's not that very obvious mountain. I like the mountain because I know what it is and I know what I'm doing, and it's not easy, but it's easy. But then you go down this well. It's kind of like this is the rabbit hole of life, and now suddenly you're on this side, and things are different. Now you're not sure which way to go. Now it's sort of the mountain looks different, and this is unfamiliar territory. Over here, Aries knows what to do going up the mountain, right? But now things are looking different. And now we've got to kind of, we've got to switch into a different mode. We're in this cardinal fire energy. Suddenly, you've got to sort of become this cardinal water energy. And I think you're going to be dealing with emotions that you haven't ever really dealt with. You're going to feel things that you never felt before, and in my experience, just relating it to myself with, the birth of our daughter, feeling things I never felt before, right? Well, what is this? What is this feeling, and that's okay, we'll get used to it. And it's adding such a richness. Now, I don't want to say all of you are having a kid, okay? Don't freak out. But some of you, yes, maybe. Or, it's some sort of a surprise love energy, a surprise sort of benefit to what's already going on in your life. This is something extra, right? And I think it's going to be very good. It is going to make you very, very happy. I think you've been chosen for a special greatness in life. Okay? And this was great by itself. Going up this way in this earth energy with your ambition, climbing that mountain, achieving that success, fantastic. But then Spirit comes here with the High Priestess and says, wait a minute, you're chosen for something else, follow me. And then your mind starts thinking, what is going on? The world starts changing, everything starts looking different. Suddenly there's these new feelings, and then we get this Ace of Cups, and then you sort of realize the glory that this was all bringing about for you. And this is you now with your cup, with your arms held out, with your cup, a big, huge cup, ready to receive all the love. This is, you're ready to really, really receive. And I think this is going to be happy and healthy and productive. And your cup's going to be running over. Overflowing with this joy and bliss from whatever this is. And it's kind of like you've been chosen. It's like you hit the lottery kind of thing here. Okay? And it's going to change the course of your life, and it's going to seem confusing at first, but it's going to be really, really good. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card now. Let's put all this stuff sort of back where it was. There we go. All right, mystery card. What do we think? Oops, it could be more water energy, but we got a lot of water energy already. Maybe it will be the Empress card. Maybe it will be the Wheel of Fortune or the Universe card, World card. It might be more fire energy because we don't have any overt fire. Maybe we need a return of the fire. That's sort of like with this new energy, this new love entering your life. You sort of, it gets you inspired again. Maybe this is going to be an Ace of Wands. Let's find out. A Queen of Cups, water on water. More water, more deep, deep, intense water. The Queen of Cups is holding the Ace of Cups. Okay? I hate to say, it really could be motherhood. Okay? It makes me smile. It doesn't have to be, though. But I think what this is you're sort of, you're appreciating this feeling, and you're kind of looking at it, or whatever this thing is. This is afterward, you're kind of, you're processing the whole situation, and you're realizing that this is maybe something that has always been inside of you. It's always been part of you, but you just never knew it. It was a hidden aspect of yourself. Right, the satisfaction, the joy that this is, whatever exactly is taking place. It feels like this is something that you realize, yeah, this does make life more complete, right? It brings us that Ten of Cups feeling, and it's kind of saying, yeah, this was like this was the Holy Grail that I didn't know was out there. I didn't know I wanted it. I didn't know I needed this. I didn't know that this experience or this feeling was possible until I'm having it. Okay? And so I think that this is really you sort of processing all of this water energy and really adapting to the new situation and realizing, I think, feeling it deeply, viscerally, how joyous this really is. Okay? And I do think it's kind of the realization that this is something that you have always wanted, but you never knew. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Aries are on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.